Hi guys, Jessica here from A Class Act New York, once again to answer some of your questions. We polled you a couple of months ago, and one of the questions that was asked again and again was, what do I not do at an audition? You guys, there is so much that you should not do at an audition. It's crazy. This is going to be a long one. So do you shake the hand of the casting director? Trick question. I bet a lot of you probably said yes, but the answer is no. Unless the casting director knows you and reaches out to give you a hug or shake your hand, don't do it. And the reason for this is that, they're exposed to so many actors in a day, and that means they're exposed to so many germs in a day. The last thing they want to do is be homesick and not able to do their job. So do not shake their hand unless they offer you their hand. Another thing is give us our space. So let's say there was a table here and I was, working on casting a musical. This has happened a lot. Actors will come up in your face and get way too close to you, which makes everybody a little uncomfortable. My job is to sit back, take notes, watch your performance from a safe distance, and then make my judgment. So don't get into my space. Another thing is if you are going out for a musical and you're supposed to bring in a 16 or 32 bar cut, make sure you bring it in a binder. Do not show up with the music in your hands like, here I am, because guess what? If it's summertime and the fan is on or a window's open and a breeze comes in, your sheet music is all over that floor, and now you've ruined your own opportunity at a great audition. You shouldn't bring in your headshot and resume in separate pieces. Like, here's my headshot and here's my resume. I get that all the time. And I'm like, no, because if I misplace something, I don't necessarily know you, I don't remember. I've seen many actors in a day and your headshot's over here and your resume's over there, and I might lose your resume and then I can't get in touch with you. Make sure it's stapled in 4 corners so that I can simply look at your headshot. Oh, lovely. It's great to meet Sophia Canfield. And then I turn it over and I can read all about Sophia and how I can reach her. So make sure you staple it or glue it, but glue it really nicely. Another thing that I don't want you to do is put your home address on your resume. So let's say you drop a resume in the street, you don't know whose hands it's gonna get into, some crazy person might show up on your doorstep, and that is the last thing we want. You can include your email address and a phone number, but that would be about it. Don't move all around the room needlessly, because it's hard for us when we're trying to get into a performance and really enjoy and find ourselves in the moment. If the actor is like going from this corner of the room to that corner of the room, we have a hard time focusing on you. Try to get grounded. That doesn't mean that you have to be glued to that spot and you can't move, but I certainly don't want you moving all around to the point where I don't know where to look anymore. Another common thing is, it's another trick question, do I look directly at the casting director when I'm performing in a musical theater audition or a straight play audition? The answer is no. Don't look directly at me, because once again, now I feel like I have to sit there and give you my undivided attention and yes, you're doing great, Sophia. Keep up the good work. I don't want to be doing that. I need to be doing my job, which is to be taking notes, listening, writing down notes. So sometimes I may not look back at you and give you that reassurance that you're looking for. I might be looking at my paper, but don't worry, fear not. I'm a professional and I will have seen your performance and I know exactly what I'm doing, okay? Another thing is, don't bring in your cell phone and have it on. Take your cell phone, put it on vibrate, or not even vibrate, like turn it off. You know what I mean? For those few moments, you don't want to mess yourself up, turn off that cell phone. Another thing that I would say is don't start when you're not really, truly ready. So find your moment before, like what was my character doing, and find your focus as well. Find your eye focus. This is really important too. Find your person somewhere else in the room, which might be slightly above our heads, about 1 foot. Get grounded, find your moment before, where was I right before what just happened, so that you can get into character properly, and start when you're ready. When you're in the room, take a moment, breathe, find your eye focus, find where the person is that you're talking to in the room, which should not be the casting director, right? Unless, wait a second, here's another rule, unless it's for TV and film, in which case you may look either at the casting director, who is your reader, in many instances, or if they have enough money, and they might sport for an actual reader, an actor who will read with you, you should put your focus on that reader. You're in a scene with that reader. But if it's a musical theater audition and there's no scene partner there for you, then you have to use your imagination to figure out where that person is in the room in relation to you, find them, and really then you can begin when you're ready. Don't be rude to anyone, right? Like, we remember those things. So let's say the person outside who's checking people in, you might think they're a nobody, right? You might think, and you might be a little rude, right? Maybe you haven't had enough coffee, maybe you're nervous and you come off as rude and cold. Guess what? That person is studying maybe to be a casting director, and they'll remember you and remember you negatively. Don't be rude to your music director. If you're going out for a musical, that person is your best friend in that room. So when you talk to them, speak politely, don't get aggravated. Also, music directors make mistakes from time to time. They're human, just like we are, right? We can make a mistake in our audition. It's normal. But don't show frustration or be angry with them. You want them to really be on your side. So if you're rude to them, they may not do their best to help you or to follow you when you've messed up. So make sure you are very kind to your music directors. If they say to prepare 16 bars, don't come in with 32. If they say to perform something in the style of Dear Evan Hansen, come in with something in the style of Dear Evan Hansen. If they tell you to prepare a particular song, come in with that song. So you've got to do your homework before you come in. Guys, do not choreograph your songs. So I see this all the time. Kids come in, or even adults, and they start, dancing, and I'm looking at fancy footwork, and I'm looking at what your arms are doing, and I forget to look at your face. And this is what I need to see mostly. I want to see you telling an authentic story through song. And I don't want to be distracted by your fancy footwork and your dance moves. And read all of the instructions. So let's say it's a self-tape, and they say, we want you to film this self-tape, from the bust, up to the top of the head. Don't send them the ceiling, because nobody cares about that, right? Don't send them a cut-off head, which I get a lot. Or, if they say film it in landscape versus portrait, know exactly what they mean and do exactly as they say. If you guys want me to answer any more questions, I'm happy to do that. Just leave your questions in the comments below, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks, guys.